up, everybody? Welcome back to another profile here on TCGU University for the game UniVersus. My name's Tam, and today we're going to be doing Bison on our Ultra Rare Challenge for this week for the Campus Championship. The card that was chosen was Toguro Brothers. These two cards are very cool together. Let's jump into the deck. Alright, everybody, so this is the Bison deck that we're playing this week, and the Ultra that we chose, like I said, was for Toguro Brothers. And the reason this is so cool is because Bison is just another copy of the Toguro Brothers. He commits and pays 2 life after my opponent plays an ability on the foundation, cancel it, and then destroy it. And Toguro Brothers does the same thing. So honestly, we want to play Toguro Brothers before we play Bison, but it's so much foundation denial. And it's not just destroying, it's negate and destroy. It's incredibly strong when foundations are just good enough to win you the game. It's super strong by itself. So 4 Toguro Brothers, and that's the only Ultra Rare we get to play in the deck. So on to the rest of the cards. We're playing one asset. It is Erendite Replica. Honestly, it's just for Breaker 3. Being able to pick this up with Spirit Sword, Guardian of the Spirit Sword. I'll double check that card. Yep, Guardian of the Spirit Sword. Being able to pick it up and then being able to block with it, as well as the interaction. Do we have that? Nope, just kidding. Being able to just block with this card is super nutty. Definitely play this as a one-of in every death deck as long as you're playing Spirit Sword. On to the foundations. We've got 4 Hyper Bomb. So this card's really cool in Bison for 2 reasons. Number 1, if it's not blocked, you draw. Bison says if your attack is completely blocked, they burn 1. And your next Punch Kick Fury gains 2 damage, as well as it destroys the foundation, which Bison wants to do, which Toguro Brothers wants to do, and so we want to keep as much foundation pressure as possible. So very good card. You can pick him up as PTC promos. The next card we have is 4 Takedown. Takedown's just like a really solid card. If they don't block it, you get to grab more attacks, and then Bison says if they do block it, they get to burn. Plus, it's a Fury and a Kick, so it's going to get 2 extra damage, a little extra poke. Force cards out of their hand. Next, very cool card, Explosive Charge. It's a Fury, so it triggers off of Bison. And then it says, enhance, if the next attack you play this turn is a low, destroy one of your opponent's foundations. So most of the rest of the deck, the rest of the deck are lows. So we've got Takedown, which is a low. We've got Hyper Bomb, which is a low, which you get to pick the foundation that you destroy. And then the only other non-low in the deck is 3 Spirit Gun, which says enhance, destroy another foundation. So I can Explosive Charge, say the next one that I pick, play this Takedown, destroy one of their foundations. Toguro Brothers is when they activate another one. Bison when they activate another one. I've lost nothing, played 2 attacks and blown up 3 foundations. Incredible. Very strong. Like I said, we got triple Spirit Gun. Honestly, it's just destroy something that doesn't matter. But they're trying to save a good enhance. They're trying to save something good, and as my first enhance, I'm just like, pop it. Maybe I've used Bison, maybe I don't have a Toguro Brothers. This is just another instance of, hey, you don't get to have that cool thing. We're playing 3 Minion Grabs, so it's a Fury, so it gets damage, and it's a throw. Guarantees gets our momentum, because it's super important that we grab a momentum in this deck because of the last attack we're playing, which is double Guilt Seeker. Once again, both of these are low, so it triggers off of Explosive Charge, excuse me. Yep, Explosive Charge. So Guilt Seeker destroys more foundations, Spirit Guns destroys foundations, Explosive Charge destroys foundations, Bison and Toguro Brothers destroys foundations. We want to just know that you don't get a staging area, you don't get to play with 1. Very cool deck. On to the foundations, we've got 4 Ridding the World of Outsiders. Our goal is to make 1 or 2 attacks as big and as crazy as possible. So the more we can chain, this Guilt Seeker's multiple gets an extra 2/2, or maybe 4/4, maybe you blocked it and it gets another 2. It's super important that you push in just as hard as you can go, and the speed honestly is what matters here. And Kiko's Aid, after you block with a thing, essentially Breaker 2, your opponent's next attack the turn gets +2 difficulty. Make them commit more foundations, so whenever they leave their good foundations up, I can Toguro Brothers or Bison or blow things up with Explosive Charge. It's just like the reverse of Journey West. We're playing triple Kirin Soul. Flip after this attack's blocked, no damage. It's really good with the Erendite Replica, so no damage and then Breaker 3. Valid card. I think you could play easily a 2 or 3 of in any deck that has these symbols and be safe. Triple Most Trusted Assassin. The point of this card, honestly, is just to make my opponent commit a little further. They commit their bad cards so that when they use their good cards, I can blow them up. This is really good for committing face downs, and I never get to blow up face downs with this. So take them out of the equation by giving them +1 to their difficulty, and then get rid of them with our cool cards. Playing 3 Voice of Reason. It's really good spam, meaning it has a low difficulty on a foundation. Very good for building on turn 1. In addition to that, it also helps us fix our bad hands. And Bison is a 7-hander with no inherent card draw, and there's no card draw on our attacks. So being able to discard a foundation, or maybe even, honestly, even a Toguro Brothers and draw a Spirit Gun might just be the difference between winning and losing a game. Yeah, it lets your opponent fix their hand a little bit too, but it's worth the risk. Playing triple Guardian of the Spirit Sword, -3 speed as well as pick up Air Knight Replica. A very good combo. And the fact that it's -2 or -3 based on weapons is good. It's just an all-around playable card. You should play it as a 2 or a 3 of in every symbol that can possibly play these. Playing triple Telekinetic Mastery. This card is damage reduction as well as speed reduction, depending on how much my opponent interacts with their own attacks. So the more they give speed or damage, the better I get to diminish whichever resource I want. If they're giving a bunch of damage, well then I should reduce speed so I can block it easier. Or if they're giving a bunch of speed, I'll reduce damage and now I don't have to block. It doesn't matter how much speed you do if the attack's doing 1 or 2. So being able to pick your Telekinetic Masteries is very, very good. I'm not seeing us playing too many 6-checks, so this does say commit a card to do that ability. But either way, commit a card for -2 commit a card for -2 speed is a good enough effect, and we have it on every time they do a thing. We're playing Double the Dark Side of Karma. This card just negates a card on a non-weapon, non-character ability, and so it is another copy of Bison or Toguro Brothers because it just says the word negate. It does not destroy the thing, but if they have a destroy ability, instead of using Toguro Brothers or Bison, I'll just cancel it with this. I'll trade the 1 for 1 because that's what my deck wants to do. We're playing 2 My Beautiful Face is Ruined. Respond card pool. After you block with this card, your opponent destroys 1 card in their staging area. Very rad. It can destroy assets, it can destroy foundations, it can do just a bunch of really neat stuff, and it covers the options that Bison and Toguro Brothers don't want. Double Know Your Objective. As I said with Telekinetic Mastery, commit for -2 speed is very good. We also have the Desperation clause of Bison being able to commit or pay life for his commit to negate and destroy, so we get to Desperation fairly quick because I only get to do this so many times. So the Desperation, flip your foundation. Now I don't have to worry about blowing things up with Bison or Toguro Brothers because the face downs don't matter. Double Wishing Ward. Momentum is scary. You should get rid of it. It's also really good spam if you look at the difficulty. Double Blood for Blood. One of the easiest ways for Bison to lose the game is his opponent just to free block all of his attacks because he gives no inherent speed. So being able to pay 2 in order to put them in a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation is just a really good ability. Triple Hunt for Spiders and Dragons. This just gets rid of powerful foundations that I don't want to deal with either of my 2 power cards. 1 Red Dragon Assassin. It's kind of the same thing as Hunt for Spiders and Dragons. Honestly, it's the same thing as the Dark Side of Karma. It's just a trade for a 1 for 1, so I don't have to use these. 1 Nightmare Tears. It's a free low block. What more could you ask for? 1 Genkai's Training. Discard a momentum, ready it, and then commit if your thing shares 2 symbols with yourself, which Toguro Brothers does, or plenty of other cards in our set. The block modifier, the number up here in the shield, becomes 0. So I mean, it's just a commit, free block. Super good. 1, We Are Many, You Are But One. Once again, momentum is scary, and it's the only 6-check that I see we're playing in the deck. Playing 1, Rook Takes Pawn. So one of the things with flipping my opponent's foundations is I can't blow them up because Bison or Toguro Brothers, they don't use an ability. And so Rook Takes Pawn is a way that I get to destroy those face downs so that they don't just keep playing cards. Commit your turn, blow up a face down, or commit, destroy a unique foundation. Very, very good. The fact that it doesn't have a block is a little scary, but as long as you can plan around that, that's okay. We're playing 1 New Shipmate, commit. This deck is -2 damage. You gain life. Totally fine card. It's unique, so you shouldn't play more than 1 of it in a deck. And then lastly, 1 Survivalist. It is totally fine for Bison to take a couple smacks if we just put it back to printed. When they try to increase the damage or negate our thing, we negate their thing. Alright everybody, so that was our Bison deck playing Toguro Brothers. If you like the content, please go to patreon.com/TCG University to see all of the Campus Championship a whole week early before it goes live on YouTube. If you want to leave a suggestion for a Campus Championship that we should try, like this really rad ultra rare tournament, also go out to patreon.com/TCGU, join our Discord by subbing at the $1 level, and I'd love to hear your guys' suggestions. So with that, from all of us here at TCGU, stay learned.